Shang Tsung, Scorpion, Shao Kahn, Raiden, Sub-Zero. Come here!
Your spine will shake. Yes. I'm simply too fast.
The void begins. Death comes for all. Dream of nightmares. Beware the shadows. Outstanding. 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 You suck. Don't make me laugh. Impressive.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the MK Mobile Podcast, episode number 10 already. Cannot believe it, but here we are with another episode, and this is a fun one. This is seriously a fun one. This is all about unique character tag-ins that are in the game, in MK Mobile. And so maybe we should just lead off with that question. Like, if you could have a unique thing that happened when you entered a room, what would it be? For me, maybe when I walked into a room, everybody would just instantly have their favorite beer in their hand. Something like that. I have no idea. But anyways, I have a very good friend joining me on this one. His name is KC. You might remember him from my very first episode here. And also, I've been a guest on his podcast, Combat Talks Blood. Check that out. It's on his YouTube channel, KC Mobile Gaming YouTube, if you can. But really good friend. And we talk about everything MK Mobile with unique tag-ins. So we're going to go over all the different unique tag-ins that characters have in the game, and then we're going to vote on which ones are our favorite. So it's a lot of fun. But before we do that, we need to get into the questions for this episode's Test Your Might. Yes, that's right. And this is all going to be a Test Your Might on tag-ins. Now I'm going to play a tag-in, and you're going to have to listen to it and guess which one it is. Guess what character it is. I'm going to play them, and then at the end of the episode, I will actually have the answer. So here we go. Here is the first Test Your Might question on character tag-ins. Can you guess what character has this tag-in? Did you get it? I'll just play it again here real quick. There you go. I started off pretty easy. I think that one will be pretty easy. Now let's go to the next one. I actually have 3 of them. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so that's number 2. Play that again for you. There it is. And finally, probably the hardest one here. Let's try this one right here. Okay, I'll do it one more time here for you so you can hear it. Okay, everybody, those are the 3 unique tag-ins that you need to think about while you're listening to this podcast and try to figure out what characters were just doing those tag-ins right there. So with that in mind, let's get right into the episode and stick around after it because I will have the answers for those questions I just asked you. Here we go, everybody. KC Mobile Gaming, episode 10. The MK Mobile Podcast. Let's go. I tell you what, it's been, I think I was looking back, it's been a year since it's just been you and me, or like you've been a solo guest on my podcast. So, because I started this, actually.
Is that already a year ago?
Yeah, since you were, actually,
Holy
I think
shit.
you were the first guest I had on here, and it was July of last year. So it's actually been over a year.
Wow.
But I thought, you know what better person to have on this one? This is just a super fun, like nothing too serious, and it's basically all about like your favorite tag-ins with characters. And I should have sent you the rules earlier because they're literally just like ones I just made up in my head. But I'll kind of go over it real quick. But the fact is, like, I'm playing this game and I'm just seeing like all these small details that might be overlooked just because they happen quickly, for one, or you've just been playing it for so long like we have and you get used to it. So it's not kind of like fresh in your mind, and it doesn't catch your eye when it happens, but they're still there. And one of those things are like character tag-ins. There's certain characters with just unique tag-ins that are more than just them jumping in, like just kind of like barrel rolling in. And that's what this episode's all about. We're going to go through the ones that had the unique tag-ins and kind of like vote which one is our favorite, and then we can have like a favorite out of every all of them, like one favorite if we can pick one at the end. But I just thought it'd be fun to list those character tag-ins and then vote on them. But my voting or the way I chose these was basically they're based on selecting when you select a character and that character becomes playable. So no assist characters like Black Dragon Aaron Black. I didn't include him because he's in the background. Nightmare Leatherface, same deal. He's in the background doing his thing. So he's not playable even though he is entering the screen. So these are characters that become playable when they tag in like that. So you can base your vote on everything from damage dealt, effects applied, or basically just because it looks cool. So really no rules at all for the most part.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. So I thought, Casey, we just kind of go through the different characters by classes. That's the easiest way I could think of kind of going over these. And I'll just do like the characters with the unique tag-ins and then kind of go over just a brief description of what those tag-ins are. And feel free to interject and add things as I'm going through these. And what was I going to say? Totally forgetting things, but that's what happens, I guess, when you prepare for 2 days and then you forget.
It's because you hit record.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that damn record button every time does it. But the first, I know what I was gonna say. So some of these characters obviously have more than one class. So you might see like, I don't pick classic Raiden for he's only an Elder God or whatever, but he's obviously overlaps. So you're only going to see him once in this entire list under one of the classes that he has, not both of them, because that wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, let's get started. We'll start with like Spec Ops characters. And I just have on my list the first one, Strike Force Cassie Cage with the Nutcracker. We're starting the list off with a Nut Punch, which honestly, Casey, that kind of reminds me of my GTG life advice. Do you remember those life advice quotes that I would pull out?
Oh yeah, there were a few cool ones.
Yeah, like don't bring a knife to a nut punch fight or something like that. Or I'm pretty sure one of them was don't follow my life advice. I think that was definitely one of them for sure. But basically, I would just sprinkle in these very terrible little life advice sprinkles in certain videos, and yeah, most of the time they're just really bad. But anyways, back to Strike Force Cassie Cage. She tags in, does her nut punch. It's going to slow the character for 16 seconds as well as power drain. So that is an example of what we're going to go down through here. So the next one I have is Cosplay Jackie Briggs. Now she's unique because when you tag her in, she has those 5 different ninjas that you can pick from, giving her, and depending on which one you pick, it's going to give her...
Yeah, the only really unique one would be the Ermac variations. The others are pretty much the same.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Yeah, each one gives kind of like a higher bonus or higher damage to a certain class of character. So you really kind of have to study what they're going to do for what class when you tag her in. And I always thought it was interesting that passive is actually called Collector, and I never understood that. Like that just doesn't. Maybe because she's collecting all the different types or something, but I just thought it was weird that it would be called Collector. I don't know.
No.
I think
now that you say it, definitely it's weird.
Yeah. I think they could have come up with something.
Especially because at the time when she was created, there was not even Collector in the game.
Whoa. Yeah, I didn't even think. Yeah,
that was way before MK11.
Dang. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Collector wasn't... Because he's not like... like he was created... Like he's not part of the lore. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure I'll hear.
Never heard of that character before at all, or even that race, the Nagnata.
Right. Exactly.
I think they were never mentioned before MK11.
Right. So he was. That's wild then, because it's even spelled with the K, just like he is in the MK11 game. So that's pretty wild.
Maybe that was the inspiration.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure, but I never even put that together until you just said that. So that's pretty wild. Third one is Stunt Double Johnny Cage. Now he is like an old school character for this game, but obviously he has that shadow kick slide and stuns the opponent when he comes in. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but there's certain like SP2s that you can do on characters, and it will slide them all the way across the screen. So for example, Classic Raiden's SP2, he's like shooting them on the ground with the electricity, and it just slides that character all the way down. I believe if Stunt Double Johnny Cage tags in if you take that first opponent out, he does like a full screen slide. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
It's freaking awesome. I love it when that happens because it's just one of those rare things that you barely see. But when it does happen, it's like, what the? It's one of those like what the fuck moments basically. So.
Also interesting, he his tag-in was one of those who were never really avoidable.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
Before there were, for example, things like Aftershock Tremor.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when you could just tag him or tag out before he hits the ground. They kind of nerfed that a little bit, but with Stunt Double Johnny Cage, no matter what you did, it was always locked. You had to take that damage.
So the shadow kick doesn't come out until whatever character is in play lands or is in play.
Mm.
Is that kind of what you're explaining?
No. What I mean is that you could never tag out once Stunt Double Johnny Cage tags in.
Oh.
Like when Tremor tagged in, you were sometimes able to tag out depending on what update you were running.
Right.
But with Stunt Double, it was always consistent. Like the moment he tagged in, he
done.
got you.
Yep, you're done. There's no time to get out at all. So yeah, that's.
And then at the very end, it always leads to the next nut punch.
Exactly, yeah, because you're stunned, so he's gonna get that first
exactly
bar of power. Yeah, so it always leads to a nut punch. There you go. GTG life advice. Actually, that'd be KC life advice right there. But let's see.
Whatever you do, everything ends up in a nut punch.
That should be the title of this episode, right there. It all leads to a nut punch. So okay, going down the list, we're still in Spec Ops. Strike Force Scorpion. Now, his is interesting because, obviously he does have power drain when you tag him in, but he also has, like, almost a second tag in because of the tactical extraction. So he kind of comes out of nowhere, just like a bat out of hell, and, hitting the opponent, and as well as power draining. So he's kind of unique because he has those two separate tag-ins that you can also play him after both of them, too. So I did put Terminator down here, and I put both Guardian and Dark Fate just because of the visual.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, the visual look, Now, Guardians obviously is a little bit different because he can auto tag in and block an attack. So he's a little different, but they both still have that, time orb.
Same animation, basically.
Same animation, yeah, which is pretty cool. I like to see that. Any throwback to old movies in a game, I'm all for. So I was happy to see that. And then finally, the last Spec Ops, Combat Cup Sonya, where she has her referee card that she pulls, the red card, and forces a tag out with no power gen or recovery for that opponent or one of your.
Unfortunately, also no damage.
And no damage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So those are the 6 Spec Ops characters that I have listed. Now, if I were to have a favorite, out of those, I'm probably gonna go with Cosplay Jackie Briggs, just because when they dropped her, it was such you never seen a character like that, and it was just so fun to. It was so new and so fun for the game at that time to have that option of picking a different ninja and playing with them, and really just kind of like gearing your fight based on what ninja you're gonna pick. So I think just because of like nostalgia and maybe like the new style that they came out with at the time, I'm gonna pick hers for my Spec Ops. I don't know if you have a favorite out of those 6 that I listed.
Out of those 6, I would probably go with Strike Force Scorpion.
Right. I
really love this uppercut coming out of nowhere. Granted, it only happens once the character had been saved by Scorpion. Like before, you don't have this specific tag in.
Mm-hmm.
But as the moment once he saved one teammate, then he will always have that uppercut tag in animation.
You're right. Yeah, good point. And it's
which you can then also like implement pretty cool in terms of strategic gameplay.
Oh,
like
definitely.
When the opponent is very low on health, that you just know, I just need to tag in Scorpion and he's done for.
Definitely. Yeah, so it's got like the visual appealing nature to it, as well as just the functionality of saving a teammate, not to mention the power drain.
It also totally suits the character if you think back to the really old days of MK, like even console or arcades, that he always had this kind of jump from one screen to the other side.
Yeah, yep. It's
Even though it's not exactly the same thing, but kind of the spirit is the same.
right, exactly.
That's why I love it so much.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up because at the end of when we go over all the classes and we kind of pick our favorite out of all of them for the tag-ins, we have a chance to kind of like talk about missed opportunities and just like a preview. I did pick Scorpion because that's out of all the characters we have, he's the most prevalent. Like we have the most Scorpions, and there's only one of them with a cool tag-in. So it's I figured for such an iconic character, I wish they could have done something different, but we'll talk about that, after we get through all these different classes with the different tag-ins. So, next up, let's talk about NetherRealm. And interestingly enough, NetherRealm has the least amount of characters with unique tag-ins, which I thought was...
Yeah, because we have so little NetherRealm characters overall to begin with.
Exactly, but in my head, they're the coolest, in my head. So I'm surprised that they don't... And they just fit that, Mortal Kombat feel for me. But starting off we have Freddy, Nightmare Freddy. He just comes in, fire out of the ground, and I love it because it's a good lead into his SP2. Granted, if you can get it to 91% to make it unblockable, but just that animation is freaking awesome for an iconic 80s, horror movie character. There's no other cooler intro for me than that. Just like flaming out of the ground, claw coming out. I freaking love that.
Yeah, and even the special one connects beautifully once you have that tag and connect.
Absolutely, yeah. If it catches them off guard, you can drop whatever you want. Yep. Okay, so number 2, Nightmare Jason. Now, obviously, there's no functionality to this tag in, but basically he just walks in from the mist, it's more just visually appealing. But I wanted to add him in there because that's unique. It's a unique tag in for that character. So very appealing, very nostalgic because it goes back to the movies. In fact, when he evades when his passive kicks in, he also just kind of disappears in the mist, and reappears behind the character. So awesome job, I think, on that character. MK11 Cabal, he has the speed increase when he comes in, plus stun, and then he also removes stun from one of your characters and applies it to the opponent if possible. So he kind of also has 2 tag-ins. And I guess you could maybe consider the Fatal Blow, so maybe possibly 3 tag-ins. 2 for sure.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, so that's pretty unique in the fact that he has that dash coming in, and then it could happen 3 different times with 3 different results basically. And the last one is none other than Noob Saibot, MK11 Noob Saibot, with the reverse roundhouse, the ground portal shooting up through the floor with the reverse roundhouse kicking the opponent, which is obviously just freaking amazing. Again, easily my favorite character in the game right now. What I did, Casey, I did add MK11 Scorpion because there are some times where he will come in like a bat out of hell when one of your characters, one of your MK11 characters gets taken out. He will tag in. I don't know if you've had that happen or not.
Probably. I can't think of anything right from the top of my head, when it happened last time.
He'll come in and just do a flip kick or something like that. It just happened. It happened so fast, but I added him at the last minute because I was I'm pretty sure that's happened. It's one character that I haven't played a lot, but I was pretty sure that did happen. So yeah. So maybe there's 5 characters, for sure 4 under the NetherRealm category. Which, for as far as the NetherRealm characters, do you have a favorite out of those 4?
Freddy. Here I would go with Freddy. Nice.
I agree. That was mine as well. Yep.
I think it's just very unique that he just comes out of the ground like that, and especially that then also his both special attacks connect that easily.
Yep. That makes a huge difference when your character can tag in and you can instantly connect a special off that tag in is just huge. It's just huge. In fact, it's sometimes game changing depending on what fight you're on, if you're in a specific tower or not.
But also at the same time, Noob Saibot is very interesting, especially when that tag in hits lethal. And he has a very high chance for lethal attacks.
Oh,
So
definitely.
sometimes just with that one tag and attack, you can deal massive damage to your opponent.
Right, right, and it's just fun to watch too, because
Mhm.
you're like he's coming in,
Absolutely.
he's coming into the ground. It's also one of those tag-ins that it's hard to judge when the AI is gonna tag him in, and you're like, okay, I gotta prepare, because sometimes you can just feel like, okay, I've been playing this character for a while now. I know they're gonna tag him out, and then Noob's gonna come in. So it's just like you're waiting for him to come shooting through the floor. So okay, so let's move on to the martial artist. And if I remember right, martial artist possibly had the most unique tag-ins, I think. And starting it off, obviously, we have none other than Dragon Breath Bo' Rai Cho.
Who?
Bo' Rai Cho? Yeah. He's the one. Okay, hold on. Before I get into his unique tag-in, I got to ask you, Casey, have you started on his feats of strength?
No. And
Is he good?
I never will.
Yeah, but what if you unlock something cool when you get all the feats of strength done?
I don't care.
I was watching, or I saw one of your tweets the other day, and it said like, this character's done with this, and I was thinking in the back of my head, I was like, I bet you he hasn't even touched Bo' Rai Cho yet. I'm just guessing, but anyways.
Borracho is everywhere at 0, and he stays. If they would offer me a maxed out FP11 Noob Cybot if I complete him, nope, not gonna happen. I'd rather wait another year or so.
I knew it. I just freaking knew it. Okay, well, he does have a unique tag in, much to your despise, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a drunk tumble where he comes rumbling in from the side. Then we go on to Assassin Jade, the badass chick with a big ass stick, flying in with her sidekick, as if she's not like annoying enough with her Vanishing Winds passive.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got that, and it's just like she's just a damage dealing machine. That's all you can say.
Sometimes I think, like with Assassin Jade back then, as they kind of created her, I think they were thinking like, how can we make the most annoying character possible?
Oh, totally.
Let's give her a tag and attack. Let's give her the Vanishing Winds. Let's give her blind on special 2. Let's give her shield break so that you cannot protect yourself against that.
Yeah, and
She has it all. She has the full package.
Yeah, and they succeeded. They definitely did it. I don't know if you remember that video that little clip I made where it was the character Craig. He was the new employee at NetherRealm, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go over this new character Jade, and we'll think up some specials and passives and stuff. And Craig was like kind of like a goth, like devil worshipping guy, and he's like, yeah, let's do all these like terrible ideas, and yeah. So damn it, Craig, you got it. You got your way. But yeah, she's super annoying, no matter how you look at it. Okay, Possessed Kenshi, another old school character for this game. He's got that demon drop, comes in, starts the opponent on fire. Just an awesome graphic, functional. Depending on who you're dropping him in against. Obviously, you don't want to drop him in against somebody with like Dark Raiden or somebody like that, or Classic Liu Kang or somebody. But very functional, very awesome looking. Another old school character, Hat Trick Kung Lao. He's got that rise up out of the ground with the hat strike. Aftershock Tremor, of course, we have with the Weakest Link tag in. And Stun also, which is really effective and also very game changing if you need him in a certain match. Sub-Zero Triborg, he's got like that slide in, and he also gets like 5 seconds of an ice shield when he does that. That's just kind of, in my head, that's kind of a cool little like tag in where he's just sliding in, and he does do a little damage on that too, as well.
It's also a nice little homage to the original.
Right. Yep. Yeah, they did a good job on those MKX characters, trying to carry all those details into the game. Okay, Triborg Smoke, another Triborg. Actually, I have Triborg Smoke and Sector Triborg. Now, their tag-ins they're more just for visual.
Classic Smoke.
Which one was it? Oh, both of them.
You had Smoke Triborg and Classic Smoke.
Yep. Oh, I added Sector as well, because it's not functional. It doesn't do any damage, but it is unique because he kind of swoops in. He kind of flies in and like and then drops down. It's real quick. It's one of those details. It's real quick, but it is there. It's not functional. It's just more aesthetically pleasing. But you're right. Yeah. Triborg Smoke and Classic Smoke again, not game changing by any means, but it's like an homage to the Smoke character because it is just like a little poof of smoke.
Yeah.
Which it looks cool. So
Suddenly he's there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did a good job on that. So that's it for the martial artist. Now, if I were to pick a favorite just from that group, I've got to go with Possessed Kenshi with that demon drop. It's just a fun character to play. It's a good graphic. It's functional. It looks freaking awesome. So that I had to go with that. I don't know about you.
For me, it's Hattrick Kung Lao, surprisingly.
Nice. Yeah.
It's actually very interesting because, like, Hattrick Kung Lao is one of my least favorite characters in terms of gameplay.
Right.
But just when it comes to tag and attacks, he is just amazing. He's so much fun. Somehow this tag and attack resonates with me so much. Just this coming from the ground, hitting him on the head, and then landing there as if nothing happened.
Yep. And I will say, Casey, like when his tag-in hits, it's so it feels so good. It's just like, oh, it's so cool. And not to mention like his SP2 when that connects, that is a good feeling too, because that can do some serious damage, some crazy serious damage when that connects. Well, we're back. So
all right,
yeah, we're back. We'll start into the Outworld characters, and actually there's 8 of these, so this is the second most characters with unique tag-ins, or what class with unique tag-ins. First off, Assassin Katana, another kind of an old school character, one that was always kind of hard to get. She's got the ambush, the drop from top and stab, applying bleed for 15 seconds. And I will say, she's never really been that much of a threat and never really that much of an annoying character until this Edenian Tower. Before that, if she was on an opponent's team, I just didn't really notice her. Now it's like, oh crap, here we go again.
Okay, well, never had that problem with her.
Oh, you didn't?
Still not.
Maybe it's like everything about the tower is kind of annoying, so it just like little things like that just add to it possibly. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Now, this next
usually with that tower, the thing that I'm always worried the most if she gains like some regen from special too.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
But
sure.
That goes now for every Kitana thanks to the equipment that they're having.
Right.
So
yep.
That's not Assassin Kitana specific.
Yep. And then the other.
But yeah, I mean, of course, if you are very low on health, then Assassin Kitana can be a problem.
100%. Yeah. Yep.
But her tagging is avoidable.
Yes, it is.
You can back out
exactly
in the moment you see that she's coming in.
Yep. And another character that her tag, this next character, her tagging is also avoidable if you do it right, but it is probably way more annoying than Assassin Katana is, and that is Ravenous Melina.
I think they actually nerfed that so that you cannot tag out at the moment.
Oh, are you seriously?
Like in some updates it worked, but now it's kind of locked in. You're kind of trapped like with Stunt Double Johnny Cage.
Really? Because I know
you can no longer tag out.
Oh, okay, I'll have to get back in the game and try that because I know for a fact I was able to, and it wasn't that long ago. So maybe it was before 3.3, and maybe they nerfed her.
Yeah, I think they just did that with this update. I think they even mentioned that in the patch notes.
Oh, great. Okay, well that's nice. Well, so she's super annoying. She's got the Tarkatan attack. Not only does it like stun you, but it also helps her gain power. While he's doing his thing, and that usually leads into an SP2. So not only does she deal major damage on you, now all of a sudden she is health regenerating at the same time, and it's just a pain in the butt. Well, I mean it's a pain in the butt if you're coming up against her, but if you have her on her team, it's awesome. So
yeah, okay.
So Black Dragon Cabal is the next character with a unique tag in. Obviously, it's the speed dash in, causing stun plus curse. Similar to MK11 Cabal, but not quite as many things that can happen, I guess. We have Day of the Dead Jade, and that's not really any different than Assassin Jade.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, almost exactly the same. Same animate, same visuals and everything like that. So
yeah, they do love their copy and paste.
They do, yeah, exactly. Now I will say though, they killed it on her appearance. Like, I think they
definitely.
They killed it on her appearance.
Beautiful design, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's when they still let the developers kind of go nuts on doing what the developers wanted to do, instead of what the higher ups maybe wanted him to do. So the next one, nothing really functional, but it's Cold War Scarlet. She has kind of that little like blood squirt where she like appears. Again, it literally does nothing. I don't even think it kicks back your character when it happens. I think she just appears.
She just appears, but that's also like a little advantage that you have because it happens so fast.
It does.
Like
so
the moment you tag to her, you basically can use her right away.
Right
That's
away.
just like a very big bonus for Cold War Scarlet.
Right on. Yeah,
speed.
it's super fast. Yeah, it is super fast. It's just like a immediate appearance on the screen. MK11 Shang Tsung is next. Now, his passive is called Doppelganger. Now, I threw him in there because, just like Cosplay Jackie, it's kind of a unique situation where instead of choosing from a set list of characters, now you can choose from your opponent's characters or choose just Shang himself. So he's definitely in there. Classic Goro. Now, granted, like I said at the beginning of this is when the player tags in and is playable. So technically, Classic Goro, after being defeated, he comes back with 50% health and just does a massive ground stomp, dealing damage to the opponent, and then becomes playable. So he is included as well. So which is kind of a cool little feature to have on a character like himself. And I've never really had any problem with him even in boss fights, but it's still kind of a neat little thing. And thank you for you mentioning the next character, Casey, but Shao Kahn. You wouldn't think of him having a unique tag in, but he actually does, because he just he doesn't jump in, he doesn't like flip in, he just takes his freaking time and struts in like a boss would. And it is the absolute most annoying thing when you're in a boss fight and he's there and he just comes rolling in at his own. You're like, it's his world and you're just living in it, because it's like he's taking his sweet time getting in there. Meanwhile, the clock's ticking down. I mean, it's probably a good 3 seconds taken off the clock by the time he gets in there and you can start attacking.
Yeah, and even the tag out takes that long as well.
Oh, yeah, he's just like, see ya. Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, he's just a big time waster or time killer in those boss fights. So, so Shao Kahn's in there. Now, that does it for the Outworlds. What do you have a favorite out of those 8 characters, Casey?
I must go with Assassin Kitana, because nothing screams more assassin than just dropping from the sky and ramming those blades into your neck.
Right on. Yeah, right on. I can see that. I actually went with Shang Tsung, and I know there was some problems with him initially. There was like a little pause, and he was susceptible to being attacked, and I think maybe it's still there. But
it's still there.
It's still there.
They made it a little bit better, but still, it's to me kind of they ruined him.
Yeah,
they would have to give him something like Cosplay Jackie, with the moment when he tags in, that he maybe pushes the opponent a little bit back or something, just so that you have like that half a second more.
Exactly, kind of kicks that opponent back just a little bit, giving yourself an option to attack or block or something. I think I went with him as my favorite out of the Outworld, just because he was such a build-up. He was such a tease for so long, and I didn't, in my head, I couldn't figure out how they were going to manage the whole shape-shifting and doppelganger aspect of him. And I think they did what they could with the tools they had, and I think they did a good job on that. Giving you the option of choosing what character was on screen on the other team. So
although, to be completely honest, when it comes to MK11 Shang Tsung, I kind of wish that I could disable that.
Oh, okay.
Because I never morph into my opponents. I don't want that. If I play Shang Tsung, I want to play Shang Tsung.
I hear you. Yeah, no, I hear you.
It would be more interesting if I would have that option in the middle of battle, and then whenever I see fit, to switch around.
Right.
Maybe like pressing his icon and then switching to the opponent that I want to.
Yeah, right.
Instead of having that tied to the tag in.
Yeah, no, that's actually really cool. I'm surprised they didn't think of that, actually. Or maybe they just
kind of the same thing that I was already saying here with Black Dragon Tremor. That I want to change the skins when I see fit instead of having it tied to a special attack.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I want to stay immune to DOTs or something, then I cannot use any special attacks with him unless I'm willing to risk being open to that. you know?
Right. Yeah.
And with Shang Tsung, it's kind of the same thing. I wish that I could control that passive.
Well, that sounds like the next episode we need to do is passives. break down favorite passives and missed opportunities with passives. Because you got some solid points there, especially with the Shang Tsung being able to use his passive mid match instead of just when he tags in. It would be and save it. Maybe save it for you tag him in like 3 times and save it for the 3rd time or something like that. So.
I mean, the perfect opportunity for MK11 Shang Tsung would be that if he just would throw like one of his fire skulls. Pushing the opponent back with that, it's like that morphing whenever he sees fit.
Right on.
And then let's continue the fight and,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Just one little skull, it doesn't even have to deal much damage or damage at all.
Yeah.
Just giving that pushback.
Yeah, it's just one little skull. Can't we get? Yeah, we need to get one little skull in there. I'd love.
Kind of like I'm here now,
Yeah, here I come. Okay, so we just went through all the classes, and then we just have one left, and that is, of course, the Elder God. I didn't put Nomad in there because he doesn't get included in this anyways. But going through the Elder God, there's only 3. There's only 3 Elder God characters with unique tag-ins. The first being one of the original characters, Thunder God Raiden. He has his, lightning strike. It's called Storm God. So when he comes in, he takes away 20% of the current health of the opponent, with just a pretty awesome animation involved in that. You have Classic Raiden with his Divine Wrath. Lightning, happens, removes 40% of the health and 66% of the opponent's power. So that is a huge, huge benefit for that character's tag-in. And then, of course, the most recent add-on was Fire God Liu Kang, and his is just a visual where, and I think it does kick you back as well. I don't have that character yet, obviously, but it kicks you back, has the lightning and the fire all at once, and then he appears from the middle of that. So pretty cool graphics, I must say, with the Elder God characters, and for my favorite out of those 3, it's got to be Thunder God Raiden. I think they killed it a long time ago with those graphics, and it's one of my favorite things to do is drop him in and then chain into his SP2, which also has an amazing graphic with it too. So
yeah, for me it would be Classic Raiden in this case. The problem is I don't have Fire God Liu Kang either,
right.
So I cannot really say like how it would feel to play him with that tag in.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I am usually on the receiving end, and I'm pretty annoyed by that.
Yeah.
But it's still a different thing if you have the character yourself and you're using that tag in attack, and maybe figuring out one specific moment when it's the best situation to use it properly to really benefit the most from it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have the character, it's just you kind of have to rely on what you see when you're on the receiving end. So
exactly.
I'm kind of him out there, just because I cannot speak to him yet.
Yep.
But in this case, I really would go with Classic Raiden, not only because he takes that damage away, but also the power drain is super useful.
Oh yeah.
In so many situations.
The
only thing that is momentarily a little annoying is that they kind of nerfed him, so that this tag and attack can be suddenly blocked.
Oh right, yeah. He. I can see why you picked him just for the fact that just like in Survivor mode alone, he's just like the king of Survivor mode. You put like the cybernetic card on him. You put Living Dead armor on him. He just kills it. I mean, he's such a. He'll get up to it.
And even if you have somebody with X-ray waiting outside, the moment they come in, you tag a Classic Raiden, X-ray gone.
Done. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, just a huge benefit. I had to throw it back old school in that one. I kind of love that Thunder God Raiden just because he was I'm pretty sure the first challenge. It's either him or Flaming Fist Liu Kang, but I think it was Thunder God Raiden was the first ever challenge, but I'd have to dig back in the archives for that. So so that was pretty cool. So out of all of those unique tag-ins, because that kind of covers all the unique tag-ins, do you have one that is your favorite over all the other ones?
I gotta go with Hattrick Kung Lao here.
Okay, all right.
As I said, like no tag and attack was ever so satisfying when performing it and having it connect than
Right on.
Kung Lao.
Yep.
And even though, as I said, I really don't like to play the character, but if I do, then that is the thing that gives me joy. And
Absolutely.
it did it so well with especially that animation.
Yep.
It looks great. It's fun to just to feel that, and even like the moment when he tags in, I'm kind of nodding with it. You know, like
Yeah.
this. Yes,
Yeah.
connect.
It's such a fluid.
I'm always having this little nod with Kung Lao. I have the same thing with Shaolin Master's Kung Lao special too.
Yeah.
Every time when he does the head slice, I'm going like nod, yes.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. And it's such a fluid intro. It's such a fluid tag in too.
Yeah.
He just kind of floats up, and then even when he connects with his bladed hat, the sound it makes is awesome. Like it's just like it's so rewarding to hear
It's
that actual.
even the coolest if you have a knockout with that, especially when it's the end of the match.
I love
To
that.
really end the fight with
Yeah.
that tag in, it's
Yep.
just amazing.
I guess we didn't even discuss that. I've waited to tag characters in, especially like Sub-Zero Triborg. I've waited to tag him in just for the knockout. You know, because you know you're gonna knock him out. So I've definitely played around with that too. But that's a good point. I think I'm gonna have to throw it back to Freddy just because I'm a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan. His tag in so just screams Freddy. Everything about it. The possible lead into SP1, SP2. It's just fun. It's just a fun character to play. That the claws coming out of the ground is a throwback to what was it, MK9, I believe, that had that same move. So just a fun character. Now this is kind of interesting. To kind of wrap this up, are there any characters that let's see, like possibly could like were missed opportunities basically that could have had cool tag-ins or tag-ins that could have been different in your opinion that may have looked cooler, may have served that character better, anything like that?
Absolutely, I would go with Hellspawn Scorpion. I would kind of love if he would materialize in a ball
Yep.
of flames or something.
Yep,
You know, like flames coming out of the ground, and then he would just rise from that,
that'd be freaking cool.
like literally coming out of hell.
Yep, that'd be freaking cool. That's interesting. I had something similar to that, but I used Injustice Scorpion, and it was more like just appears in a fire tornado, just like I think that's a graphic.
Makes sense.
Graphic they've used, because I was thinking in my head like it would have to be something fast, because if it's a slow tag in, that's gonna mess with the timing of the match and all that stuff. But they could even make like the crawling out of hell pretty quick. You know, if he's just lifting himself up out of the ground, that'd be freaking awesome. And
Yeah, it would be kind of like the reverse Shang Tsung combo ender.
right on, yeah, exactly. But if there's any developers listening to this, don't use the same graphic. You get creative. Use a different graphic, please. I also had basically any of the Jasons. I just thought it'd be kind of cool if they would like throw the machete in as they're coming in. You know, it'd just be like kind of like the meat's cleaver type of thing, like a blockable attack. But it was just the machete coming in because you know that they're coming in. On top of that,
Well, in that case, then I would also say that it would be cool to have the shurikens for Noob as a callback. You know, like it's for the tag-in.
Yeah.
Then instead of the kick, that he would just like throw 5 of those shurikens or something.
That'd be freaking awesome. I think maybe that's something that they're gonna do down the road with a new tower, because I guarantee you, Casey, we're gonna see a classic tower. I know it's coming. It just seems like they're gearing it up with all these classic characters lately. Well, first of all, they're easy to make because it's just a palette swap, basically. But I think they can make good with a classic tower as well. So, a couple other ones. I just had 2 more. Reptile. I thought it'd be cool, like, to include more of his chameleon aspect and like invisibility aspect. You know, maybe if it's even just like the first 2 seconds when he tags in, he's invisible. Now, granted, the only effect that would have is you wouldn't know when to block. I mean, I guess you could just block the whole time, but let's say if it's, classic Reptile and he gets you with his SP2, which is unblockable, it might change the game a little bit. It would just kind of add some neat graphics, basically.
Yeah, or you go even further and just make him then also able to attack already while he's still invisible.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you'd have that option to kind of move in on the character and
You know that it would just work like a normal character, just turns then visible the moment when he already attacks.
that would be even cooler. Yeah. Exactly. Well, it's definitely some ideas. My last one would be Kano. I'm surprised he doesn't enter the screen in his Kano ball form, but that would be kind of neat to see him roll into the screen like that as well. So those are just
For Kano, I would even say what would be even cooler if you would just walk in and spit on the ground.
yeah,
You know, just like
yeah.
a quick,
yeah.
and then getting ready.
And honestly, that would be the perfect intro if you were to finish the opponent with his brutality, because
Yeah.
it's just very fitting for that character in general.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, but it would be so in character, you know, it's like it's just him.
Oh, exactly. And not to mention just like what it would do for the game itself, you know, like try to get back to more, you know, justifying people playing the game because of the lore that you're adding into it and the quality that you're putting into it. Just little details like that can make a big difference in the end. I don't know, did you have any other characters that you thought you might want to add into that?
I think no, in that sense I'm good.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really would really wish that it would have been different is Hellspawn Scorpion.
Right.
You know, just to give him something unique. No, because like if you look at the original Diamonds, you know, like you have Melina with her tag-in, you have Classic Raiden with the tag-in.
Yep.
Hellspawn Scorpion, nothing. You know, seriously?
Right.
Scorpion
Yeah.
is the poster boy.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
how about you give him special treatment?
Yeah, no, exactly, and not to mention, like I said earlier, there's 10 scorpions. I don't know. There's a ton of scorpions in the game, and only one of them has a unique tag, and that's
No, yeah.
unbelievable. So that I mean that pretty much wraps it up for what we're discussing in this episode. Anything else you want to add? Anything that is going on that?
The tower is annoying.
Yeah, it
Yes,
sure
yeah,
is.
no,
It sure is.
I mean, right now I'm getting through 180 like in 3 to 4
Yeah,
tries and
yep.
200s
Yep.
around 4.
Yep.
It's got a lot better now with a little bit higher equipment, but the fights are not fun. It's just annoying to deal with MK11 Rain and Fire God Liu Kang.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing like we had in the very first few towers, like Shirai Ryu or something, where the fights literally were so much fun.
Yeah.
Now it's just annoying, you know.
It is
The last
annoying.
3 towers or something like that, in the Nightmare Tower where we had this killer jacket crap.
Yeah.
Then now we have the Divine Argus cloak plus soaked,
Yep.
and this constant retaliation from MK11 Jade and MK11 Rain. You know,
It's definitely
it's not fun.
most annoying tower we've had, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, because I mean, Cold War Tower is pretty annoying just because of 160, but you know you could find a workaround for that. But now we have like 160 fights on steroids in this tower. You know, it's just like holy smokes! Like some of them are crazy annoying, and like you said, they're not impossible to beat, but they take a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm so drained just from
Yeah.
playing the tower every day. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you don't even look forward to these matches, and then the drop rates as well, super low. You know, it's like still I have not a single random epic drop.
Same here. Yeah, I think I want to say
Even
like
when it comes to characters, I just got one Black
Yeah.
Dragon Cabal from all those matches.
yeah, I think
Everything else was a sellback. You know, it's like,
I think out of my
why am I playing this tower? Why am I investing souls to refresh?
Now wait, have you gotten MK11 Rain yet?
No,
Okay, well hopefully you will on this next when you finish this one. But
I doubt it.
I hope you do, man. I hope you do.
I really doubt it.
I somehow have gotten 2 of them so far, but again, like I'm with you. I haven't got a single random epic, and I think out of the whole community that we deal with on Twitter, I think me, you, and Bojar are the only ones that haven't got random epics. Because I see everybody getting them. I think one guy even had like 4. Like he's like, this is my fourth random epic. I'm like, what the heck? Like, am I doing something wrong here? But yeah.
I mean, in the previous 2 towers, I had that. You know, that it dropped very easy.
Yeah. Oh no!
But this one is just horrible. It's like it's completely stopped.
Yeah, it's just non-existent.
I'm getting my epic from 200. I'm getting the rare from 110, and in between nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I hope they learn. I hope they're watching the community feedback from this tower and adjust accordingly, because this is definitely the most annoying for all player bases, not just new players, not just veteran players. It's like the whole spectrum is annoyed from this tower. So hopefully they're learning from the community feedback. I hope. So we'll see. So with that, that kind of wraps up this episode number 10, you guys. Casey,
already. Wow.
I know. Yeah, 10. Isn't that crazy?
You're on fire, man.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's literally, it's the funnest thing I do outside of my family. It's the most fun, because like you can edit videos all day long. I don't mind editing videos, but I would much rather talk with awesome people like you or anybody from around the world, because it's so interactive, and it's just makes you feel better at the end of the day when you do it than just sitting in front of your computer trying to edit stuff. So it's really fun, and again, appreciate you joining me on this one. I just kind of reached out to you. It's like, hey, you just want to hop in here and do something quick and fun, and you said sure. So real quick.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Oh, dude.
Anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I know the community.
Can't believe that it's already a year ago since we did the last one,
yeah.
Like one-on-one.
Yep, August or July 2020 is when my podcast dropped, and you were the first guest. So yeah, long time ago. It goes fast, that's for sure. So
we're not getting younger.
I know, dude. Seriously, yeah. But anyway, so do you want to shout out like where people can find you, like any of your socials?
Oh, well, you can find me under Casey Mobile Gaming YouTube, and on Twitter you can find me at MK_KC_HK. And in case you are looking for other social media contact addresses or something, you will find everything in the description of my channel. Every YouTube video that I put out has these listed in the description. So if you're looking for Facebook or Patreon or anything like that, you will find that there.
Great, Casey. Well, thank you. And that does it for this part of the podcast. Now stick around, because I am going to have the answers to the Test Your Might questions or sounds that you heard at the beginning of the podcast. So stick around with that. But again, thank you so much, Casey, and we'll definitely have to do this more frequently.
Absolutely.
All right, here we are, everybody, back at the end of the podcast with the answers to the Test Your Might sounds for the tag-ins that you heard at the beginning of the podcast. Hopefully you remember them. If not, I will play them again, and then I'll answer it. So the first one was this, and that is actually Aftershock Tremor. Hopefully you guys got that right. You can kind of hear the gravel hit at the very end. Now, the second one here, that is Possessed Kenshi. That's right, it's got that demon drop, and it has kind of that metallic sound as well. And now the third one, the final one, which was kind of hard, sounded like this. That is Hat Trick Kung Lao, his little rise up and his connection with his bladed hat. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you did well. And that's it, you guys. That is it for this episode. Thank you all for listening, and stick around because there will be more coming out with new guests soon. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the MK Mobile Podcast. The MK Mobile Podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube, as well as follow me on Twitter at GameTime Gaming 1, where you'll find MK Mobile information, gameplay, and more.